Okay, I'm going to do a review here of my go bag or emergency bag or camping bag, however you want to call it, but this is something I carry in my car pretty much at all times. I just put it in a part of my trunk and leave it there. So whether it's for family camping trips or emergency roadside purposes, not so much that, but or if you're on a road trip or somewhere and something goes wrong or you break down, you have an extended period where you're out of contact or who knows what. This is kind of a preparedness bag. Now this is not all inclusive, of course. A lot of stuff in here that probably would never need, and there's probably stuff in here that I could need, but this is just what I have so far and what I keep for kind of multi-purposes. So instead of making a big long video here, I just wanted to show you the bag, take out the contents, and then I'll break it up into smaller modules to talk about different sets of gear like communication, food, self-protection, medical, stuff like that. So it shouldn't be like a 30-minute video. So anyway, this is the bag, and there's little clip-on modules that you can get as well. Start out with this blanket, which is not in the bag, of course, but I keep this in the trunk. I live in a climate where it gets down below freezing a lot of the year, so especially if you break down, this is a practical thing to have in your trunk. Wool blanket. It's very heavy duty. It's 70% wool. Most people don't dress properly, when they go on trips, and they don't think about, if it's 15 degrees outside and you're driving somewhere, and all you're wearing is stuff for being indoors, primarily in a light coat. Your car breaks down, can't start, you got no heat, and your car's going to be 15 degrees pretty quick. So it's just a smart thing to have overall. So back to the bag. I just picked this up on the internet. I'll go over the bag a little bit later in another video, I guess, tell you more about it. But I've got a bunch of stuff jammed on here and in here, and I'll kind of twist it around and show you. So it's a fairly standard backpack with tons of little compartments and clip-on areas. Okay, so I'm going to start disassembling from the outside first, make it easy. First thing I like to have at all times is a firearm, at least one. And they're on me. I usually have one on me, but I have one in the trunk, and this is one I have, which is a Marlin 30-30 lever action. So this is a good all-purpose gun for hunting, self-defense, with a fairly large 30 caliber rifle bullet, easy to operate, holds 6 plus 1. Anyway, it's fairly heavy. It's the only downside, but they're cheap, easy to use. Pick them up for about 200 bucks. This scabbard that I carry that in, not necessary, but adds some weight. It's just easier to put it in there and secure it to the bag. See, down here you've got 3-season sleeping bag. So that clips on here, a couple clips. Fairly compact. It's I forget the temperature rating, but this one's made by Condor. It's good for down to below, slightly below freezing, I believe, or around freezing. Couple that with your clothing and all that, you got some extra warmth, and of course that's good camping gear right there. Let's see. This is a external pouch I've attached. It's got food-related items in here for fishing, hunting, that kind of thing. I'll go over that later, but these are just little extra packs that you can buy to put stuff in there and attach to the main bag. Okay, couple knives. This is just a straight blade, fixed blade. Very sturdy. I mean, you can use this to split wood, you know, hit it on the top with a piece of wood. You can split some kindling. You can dig with it. Obviously, you can do a lot of things with it. Clips in there nicely. I like the little holster that it clips in there, and it's kind of a quick release with your thumb. Machete, obvious uses out in the woods, camping. Utility for that. Let's see. On the bottom here, I've got some clothing. And the idea with this, so no matter where you are, if you break down, or let's see if I can get this undone. You may not be wearing much clothes, and especially if it's colder climate. Hope I don't have to do this in a hurry. Okay, let's pull out the side. So wherever you are, you may need some clothes, and I figure it's better to be warm than too cold. So what I've got here is a pair of pants that zip into shorts. I guess worst case scenario, wherever you are, especially if I have this in my car, I'll have you know, at least like a pair of shorts on or flip-flops or something, but I may not even have shoes. And I'd like to carry a pair of old tennis shoes in the trunk. These are nice, thick skiing socks, actually. This is a thermal underwear shirt, long sleeve. Very warm, actually. So that's some basic clothing in case you're wearing God knows what. When something happens, you could be wearing a bathing suit and be out at the beach somewhere 500 miles from home, or you could be wearing a suit with, you know, suit pants and all that. Also got gloves. These are actually bicycle gloves, but they're warm, and a hat. It's actually acrylic, but nice warm hat. All right, here we go. Start taking it apart. So nice pocket knife. Gotta have a knife. Okay, some communication gear. Two-way walkie-talkies. These have about a 20-mile range on kind of flat terrain. It varies on your terrain, but these are nice to have. Rechargeable. Have the cord, and also some extra batteries. And I bring this in every once in a while, and I recharge everything that's in here that needs charging. This is a great flashlight. I got a set of these Maglite LED. These are one of the greatest little flashlights. I love these. Whistle, communication stuff. Sig Sauer 9mm. I usually have this or my 380 on me, and I've done reviews on both these guns. If you look in the my video list, you'll see the other reviews of this stuff. LED headlamp. These are also great. I love these. You can shop around for them. You can get them real cheap for like $3. They last a long time. They're very bright and very useful for around the house and working on stuff. Emergency radio, flashlight. That's crank powered, so no batteries. Crank it up. It's kind of cheap, but it's got a radio on here, so it's nice. AM/FM, so in case you're out there somewhere and you don't have a radio. This is a compass, fold out, to be used for navigation. Has a little magnifying glass. Learn how to use that with a flat map and navigating. This is a little knife sharpener. It's kind of big, but it does the job. Carbide. This is a mirror. It's actually a little compact. You can get it for like a couple bucks, but it's a mirror. It's good for signaling device, possibly. Little waterproof containers. You put matches and stuff in. Got a bunch of those. Lighters. You never have enough lighters. Starting fires. This is just a multi-tool. Basic multi-tool set. You've got screwdrivers, knives, pliers, all kinds of cool stuff on it. And a spork, which I guess you need to eat soup one day when the world ends. More of these little waterproof containers. You can put papers, stuff that's obviously you don't want to get wet. More lighters, magnesium fire starters. I'll do another video on all this junk, but you know how they work. You scrape the magnesium off and then spark it, and you can light tinder very easily. Alright, these two are empty. Now we're getting into two of the main pack areas here. This is a little notebook and some crayons, so writing, taking notes, whatever you had to do, some communication stuff. And the thing I like about this is, I put a lot of things in plastic bags. It's a good idea. You never have enough plastic bags to keep it waterproof, but they're really useful. Crayons can write on lots of surfaces and it's waterproof, so that's kind of the idea there. Emergency blankets, these are great, these little foil blankets. You can supplement your clothing with it. You can make a lean-to shelter with a tarp, and you can drape one of these on the inside to reflect fire from your fire. Put it under clothing and sleeping bags, whatever. Nice little addition. Some string, roll of string, Agus uses. This is not Vaseline, but it's Vaseline mixed with dryer lint to make for starting fires in wet environments. It's pretty cool. It's like napalm. So you just take a couple handfuls of dryer lint, you mix it in with the Vaseline, and there you go. This is a little bottle, can't see it in here, but it's a contact lens solution bottle full of bleach, double wrapped in plastic bags. So this is used for kind of worst case scenario disinfecting water, which you can do, several drops to a quart or whatever the ratio is. Not ideal, it tastes pretty shitty, but if you're somewhere where you can't purify water or boil it, that's kind of a secondary option. More matches. I've got more matches than I need in here, so I'll probably get rid of them. They're just taking up space. These are just garbage bags, zip tie garbage bags, which are great to have. You can poke holes in it, make a shirt out of it for waterproofing. You can do lots of stuff with it. Carry water in it if you had to, short term. Bio wipes, it's for like personal hygiene and whatever. More bio wipes. Ibuprofen for pain. Glasses case. I usually would carry an extra set of glasses in here. If you wear contacts or something, you got to think about if you're out somewhere, you're not going to be able to maintain that. So you should have an extra pair of glasses. Go buy them cheap or somewhere and keep them in your emergency bag. Some nail clippers and nail lighters. This is cool. I like this. Well, it's a belt, right? But it's a money belt. So it's obvious uses for a belt, but if you unzip this, you can keep your money when you're traveling. I have bars of silver in here. So I've got 12 or 13 1-ounce bars of silver, and going on certain prices, like today they're about 20 bucks a piece. So this is good for traveling and emergency purposes too. You don't know if you're going to have cash on you. You can put cash in here too, of course, but it's kind of a nice thing to have, I think. Universal system of trade. Toothbrush. What the heck? Alright, main pack area. Before I get into that, let me pull this out. Okay. This is a saw. This is called a Sven saw, S-V-E-N. I'll do a video on this, but this basically comes apart, folds out into a big triangle, and you've got a nice big handle. It's lightweight aluminum. It's a great saw for instead of having to chop wood with an axe and whatnot. Very compact and light. It's a really cool design. Okay, ammunition. I've got lots of ammunition in here. Box of 9mm. That's for the Sig Sauer. I I got maps of the local area. This is a Georgia map where I live. It's a survival field manual for the Army. You know, I suggest people read all these things too, so you are familiar with the techniques and the contents before you actually go out and have to use it. These are instructions for the compass, how to use it for map reading and navigation. Zip ties, great for lots of stuff. More bio wipes. Duct tape, it's heavy, it's bulky, but it's really useful, so I just keep it in there for now. Paracord, this is a really strong cord they use for parachutes, so you can unspool this into its individual threads and use it for lots of different things, so it's very, very useful, very, very strong. This is a 5-liter, I think, collapsible water container with a handle. Having water is going to be critical in disinfecting it also, and the fact that it's semi-clear, there's lots of ways to disinfect water. You can boil it, you can bleach it, but actually sitting it in the sun all day and shaking it with oxygen to oxygenate it is another way, alternatively, to disinfect water to a certain degree. So that's useful. Mosquito netting, you know, for obvious uses, you can put over your face or your sleeping quarters, very light. Emergency tent, this is a very thin thing. It's got that emergency or that foil lining in there to keep you warm. So not very sturdy for long term, but it's big and gets the job done. More ammo. This is the 30-30 ammo for the rifle that I showed you earlier, the Marlin lever action. Another box for the 30-30. Another box for the 30-30. These are two 30-round magazines for AR-15. This is 5.56 ammo. That's one of my other guns I'll do a review on. But depending on where I am, if I'm home and something happens and I need to go, I'm going to grab that one and take it with me, as well as these other ones. But I keep this in here just in case. And who knows, down the road, you know, this all stuff could be traded or used for bartering if you had to, you know, worst case scenario. But it's very widely used and it's very desirable. This is a poncho, rain poncho, hooded poncho. Probably don't need that, but it's nice to have. It's the top to the water spigot. This is a metal aluminum cooking vessel. There's a lot of medical supplies in here. So I've got iodine, super glue, which is great for closing wounds, actually. Disinfectant, antibiotic stuff. I actually have a prescription for antibiotics. This is good to have for infection. Lots of bandages, allergy stuff, razor blades, all the medical stuff you could think of. The basics are in here. And this is obviously good for cooking. Tarp. This is a 8x10 or so tarp. Obviously, use is good for shelter, waterproofing. Use it in conjunction with the foil blankets and stuff to stay warm. And I have a very finicky car that's old and has a sunroof, and I'm thinking one day it's going to break down. I have the sunroof open, and this would be nice to have. If it rains. Okay, I went through all that. So that's it for the bag. Again, all that stuff came out of here. Now the idea is obviously you don't need to have all of this stuff all the time, but I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So wherever you are, when something happens, if you have to go and you have to go mobile, take this with you. This whole bag, as it was set up that I just showed you, weighs about 43 pounds. So what you would probably do is quickly assess, do you need the whole thing? If not, take some of the stuff out, leave it in your trunk, leave it in a cache somewhere that you can come back and get it. Or, you know, when you're, take it all with you and take it out as you don't need it. You know, so like I said, I'd just rather have more than not enough. and you can jettison this stuff pretty quickly that you don't need. So anyway, there's a lot of other stuff I want to include and get, but this is just what I have for now. And leave me some comments if you have some ideas or some alternative things to put in the bag. So thanks for watching. I'm going to do a bunch of other videos on the bag itself and all the gear here, and hope you find it useful. Thanks.